Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Mademoiselle Lina, and you can find me online at www.conjureknits.com. Today, we are here to do the Libra TarotScope for January 2022, and we are going to be using the Fairy Oracle cards by Brian Froud. Before we get started, I would like to say thank you for viewing my video. And if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to my channel. Hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and click on the little bell so that you'll receive notifications of when I go live or upload new videos. I do try to stay pretty busy here on my channel. I do all 12 zodiac signs for the monthly tarot scopes. On Sundays, we have Conjure Crew with myself, Mambo Tanya, and the Black Bonnet Witch. On Mondays, I upload the weekly forecast. Every day, I do a card of the day reveal. On Wednesdays, we have the virtual book club. We are currently reading the Sword of Truth series by Terry Goodkind. It has been so much fun following Richard and Kaylin on their adventures, so you are definitely going to want to join us for that. I also pop on from time to time and do free readings, so make sure you get my notifications by clicking that little bell. Alright, I feel that I have rambled on long enough. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Card number 1. What is the challenge for this month? And we have Ilb the Retriever. This is about the Office of Unclaimed Property, Hopes and Wishes. Loyalty. While writing this, I was having a little trouble with Ilb. Not for the first time. I couldn't find my keys anywhere. He thinks it would be greatly to my benefit to be more organized and tidy, so he smears not quite visible juice on things that are out of place, or he encourages the resident cats to hide things. Cats seem remarkably willing to cooperate with these little bits of fairy helpfulness. Then I have to hunt and hunt for them, and Ilb hopes I shall be more organized the next time. You may have encountered him in this guise. When he has done something like this, my son observes, he just looks at us with that, "Who? Me?" look. My son also advises, keep your eye on him, and whatever isn't nailed down. And if you scold or contradict him, he just gets huffy and insists on having his own way. This sort of busybody helpfulness is just one of Ilb's tasks, however. He also has more important things to do. Ilb is a protector. He retrieves and safeguards our lost hopes, forgotten dreams, and mislaid keys. My keys were under a stack of papers stuck to the floor with peach juice. Not a place that I'd put them myself, but certainly safe from most key thieves. He holds these seeds of our potential futures carefully and delicately until we are ready for their return. Sometimes we don't think we are ready for them, or we have given up hope altogether. And then he may arrange reminders for us, events or people in our lives that bring back memories of our past hopes and dreams. When that happens, we need to look at them again and consider how we might manifest them into reality. Card number 2. What positive energies can I embrace this month? And we have the Singer of Connection. This is about spiritual connection, karma, balance, empathy. This singer supports all connections, the web of light between all beings, all particles, and between past, present, and future. It brings wholeness to apparent duality and combines all energies, uniting all that was, is, or could be. When we lose awareness of this connection in our lives, we feel isolated, lonely, bereft. Yet the energy is there. We only need to be open to it. There are emotions that help us open up: love, compassion, trust, and so on. There are other emotions that we tend to close down around unless we make a special effort to keep our hearts open. As you can probably guess, these emotions are feelings such as jealousy, anger, fear, grief, and others of a similarly painful nature. Yet, sometimes, these very emotions, when carried to an extreme, cause us to break down and then break through to the song of ecstasis. This is a risky way to go as well as an extremely difficult one, because more often the breakdown just stays broken for a long time, and then we retreat back to a more crippled version of our original selves. A far better way to become ever more aware of our essentially holistic nature is to work at keeping our hearts open, seeing relationships, being earthed and centered and connected. In a meditation, someone, and I suspect it was this singer, asked me to let go of all of my defenses. I argued that surely we needed defenses in this world in order to survive. I was firmly but lovingly told, it is only by letting go of all your defenses that you become invulnerable. That gave me such a strong shock of recognizing the rightness of it that I couldn't even breathe for a moment. But then, still reluctant, because it sounded like a big job, I muttered that I didn't think I knew how to do that or even what all my defenses were. I was assured kindly that I would receive help if I asked for it, and I know that you will be given the same help too. Card number 3. What negative energies do I need to negotiate this month? And we have the Sage. This is about wisdom, hidden knowledge, retreat, old age, patience. The Sage is also the shaman. Not all wise men are shamans, and not all shamans are wise men, but this one is both, power informed by wisdom and wisdom made manifest by power. This is also the face of Father Time, and we see the colors of the seasons surrounding him. Sometimes he is Old Man of the Mountain, the hermit who searches within for wisdom and understanding, and then is willing to share it with any true seeker who comes to him. His blind eye enables him to look into other worlds, other realms, and the wisdom buried deeply within each of us, where the singers dwell. He has reached a stage of life where he has let go of many of the activities of younger beings, retreated somewhat from the outer world of fairy, and has become more deeply immersed in the inner landscapes of knowledge, inner vision, contemplation, and spirit. On the exterior, he lives simply, almost austerely, but his inner world is filled to overflowing with richness. In order to pursue his studies more thoroughly, the Sage has cultivated detachment. Some may see this as remoteness or coldness, but he is no less loving for that. The Sage finds the inner connections between everything. He sees the connections, relationships, and consequences between seemingly separate ideas, beings, and things. Love and compassion are the inevitable consequences of seeing truly, and this leads the Sage to share his learning with others. Like any other wise elder, he leads by gently teaching from his vast store of wisdom. When asked for his judgment about something, he is discriminating and generous-hearted. He turns a blind eye to punishment, feeling that what is needed is mercy and a way of teaching those who err so they will not make the same mistakes again. The Sage is constantly learning. While on the one hand he values tradition and stability, he also understands and values the need for growth and change. He can't go for a walk or a flight around the neighborhood without discovering something new and trying to see how it fits into the whole. He is always expanding his understanding of reality and deepening his awareness. As we develop patience and compassion intertwined, we begin to manifest the wisdom of the Sage. Card number 4. What do I need to make time for this month? And we have. Oh, that gnome. This is a trickster, creative chaos, wild gifts, breaking habits and patterns. This is the trickster, who exists in every world. He comes to us wearing our own faces to fool us into thinking that his ideas are our own. He brings creative chaos into our lives. He helps us break down old habits by showing us how silly they are. He encourages us to fall on our faces so that we get a different point of view, looking up past our mud-smeared noses. He helps us get ourselves into situations in which we discover gifts we never knew we had, often because there is no other way out of the mess we got ourselves into. As Brian mentions, that gnome is unreliable and sometimes encourages drunkenness. This is true. He certainly doesn't always do as we expect. But our expectations are our problem, not his, he says. As for drunkenness, in vino veritas, in wine, there is truth. When we let down our mental sensors and filters, we sometimes come up with discoveries about who we really are and what we really want that we hadn't let ourselves know. When he appears, it is breakthrough time, and all too often, the first step in breakthrough feels just like breakdown. There are better ways of doing this than getting drunk or going through a psychotic break, but the better ways take skill, and he has to work with what he has, us just as we are. That gnome tells wild and wonderful long-winded stories, complete with demonstrations of the action and much arm waving. That gnome is full of knowledge, but the trick is sorting out the truth from the fiction. It takes a lot of good sense to be able to listen to him. He isn't known for his patience. If that gnome breaks a vase, the pieces will fall into patterns of great significance and meaning, but it is up to us to read and understand it. He is the potentially constructive force of chaos. That gnome is also the keeper of our wild talents, the ones we may not even know we have. When he appears, it is often to call our attention to our latent gifts. In a nutshell, which is where he claims to belong, his job is to help us get lost from our comfortable ruts, so that we will explore wonderful, exciting, and strange new paths. He is a good friend of Raven, the philosopher trickster, and Coyote is one of his many disguises. He is so smart that he sometimes outsmarts himself. Can you laugh at yourself sometimes, and let the laughter carry you into new insights and new ways of being? Then that gnome within you is waving his fairy wand gleefully. Card number 5. What opportunity should I seize this month? And we have She of the Cruetch. This is about the receptive principle, nurturing fertility. This is the great goddess, the many-named mother of all, and all goddesses are attributes or aspects of her. Her cup, the Cruetch, overflows with bounty for all. She is the yin energy of the universe, nurturing, compassionate, and wise. She gives form and brings into manifestation the will and life force of he of the fiery sword. His is the intention, the action, and hers is the manifest reality. In a sense, she is the Cruetch holding all the worlds within her being. You may see the Cruetch as a great bowl, like a scrying tool for seeing past, present, or future potential, but filled with energy instead of water. Within it a tower with a moon above it, a farmhouse, and many other bits and pieces of our world. If you drop something in the water, these things would scatter out to become reality, archetypes manifesting everywhere. She is the woman who dreams, and her dreams are the worlds and all that is in them. Looking at this card, what I see here is the energy of being held lovingly in the palm of the hand of the great goddess, followed by a relaxed sigh and release. She of the Cruetch is the holder of all of our sorrows and all of our joys. Her Cruetch, the miraculous chalice, is the womb of birth, and the cauldron of rebirth, the chalice of healing, the container holding the germinating seed. She is the body, the soul shrine that holds the spirit and keeps it from being lost or dissipated in a formless fog. She is pattern and form in the abstract and in the specific. Within her we take form, grow, achieve fulfillment, and let go of that form to move on to the next phase of our being. All of the universe, each individual particle, every being, is cherished by her. All right, my lovelies. Let's take a look at the bigger picture here. Card number 1. What is the challenge for this month? And we have Ild the Retriever. Is it time to stop saying I can't and take a look at I can instead? Perhaps something important in your life is being held back by negative attitudes, but we have choices about our attitudes and can change them when they are not helping us. Alternatively, Ild may be saying that this is not yet the time for the germination of this seed. It may be that other things need to be dealt with first. What might you need to clear out or finish up before being able to properly plant and nurture this particular seed? Are the things in the way weeds, which should simply be pulled or valued growing things that we would wish to care for before planting something new in that space in our lives. Card number 2. What positive energies can I embrace this month? And we have the Singer of Connection. Through the power of this singer, all connections are made, held, and released as appropriate. This singer indicates the connection of things, especially reconnecting those that have been sundered. It is unifying and reunifying. It tells us that we need to be aware of the connections between different aspects of the issue under discussion, as well as the connections between the people linked by it. We also may need to build more connections, a network of mutual support. The presence of the Singer of Connection indicates support and strength flowing through the connections between those involved. Card number 3. What negative energies do I need to negotiate this month? And we have the Sage. When the wisdom of the Sage is blocked, artificial or inappropriate boundaries are set between different aspects of life. We become unable to apply learning in one sphere to other aspects of life. Or information is withheld, kept secret when it could benefit others, which in turn would benefit us. Sometimes learning is blocked by the belief that we already have all the answers, but we never actually do. Twisted, the Sage accumulation of facts and information becomes unwisdom, knowledge misused and distorted, facts distorted for selfish purposes, information used to the detriment of others. There is always a risk of this when we set out to prove something, rather than to discover something. Other twists include being excessively critical, being cold and uncaring, or being cynical or embittered. These are all faults of balance. At its worst, knowledge and experience are channeled toward the destruction of the self or others. Card number 4. What do I need to make time for this month? And we have that gnome. It's time to leap into the air, letting the earth turn beneath you and discover where you come down again. Reasonable risks are okay. Even unreasonable risks are probably okay. Use your head and look before you leap, of course, but do so understanding that the actual jump is likely to be very rewarding. No guarantees, but then there never really are anyway, no matter how pretty the paper they may seem to be printed on, and the scrollwork around the edges. The presence of that gnome tells us that the forces of chaos are at work. Things may not be as they seem, and this may very well be a good thing. Look for the unexpected, find the opportunity in it, and go for it. He says that no matter how confused things may seem, there is a way to make them better, but it is a creative way, one you haven't tried before. He says, think amazing new thoughts. Card number 5. What opportunity should I seize this month? And we have She of the Cruach. She of the Cruach may indicate a form of pregnancy, a necessary time of nurturing and development. We need to be open to her overflowing grace. She may also indicate a need to allow her nurturing grace to flow through us to others in the form of unconditional love and giving and spiritual healing. She tells us of the need for unconditional receiving, of making the best of what we are offered. She also reminds us that unbounded love and grace is ours, just waiting to be accepted. The presence of this card radiates comfort and nurturing. What I'm picking up here is New Year, New You. I know it sounds so cliché, but really sit down and contemplate on who and what you really and truly desire to be. It is time for some major cleanup. Start with your personal space. Clean and organize your living and workspace. Next, clean and organize your social media. Delete, block, add, etc. Another thing that I would like to point out is, don't keep someone on your social media if you don't like them. Who cares what they post? No stalking. They are insignificant to you and your success. Get rid of them. Focus on yourself and keep your vibes positive. Also, the fairies are telling you to not be petty. Don't use the information you have against others. They are also telling you to branch out and take some risks. Ask yourself if you have been holding yourself back from doing something because you felt like maybe it is out of your league. That is crap. Nothing is out of your reach. Take some risks and go for it. Send that friend request to someone you admire, a priest or priestess in the spiritual community. Surround yourself with the people who will support you in your journey, people who you aspire to be like. If you are a leader in the community already, teach some classes and share your knowledge with others. Learn a new skill, then put it into action. Now is the time to get your shit together and reinvent yourself. Leave the drama llamas in the past and reach for the stars. I hope that this reading has helped you and will help lead you and guide you throughout the month of January. If you do feel that it has helped you and that it will help someone else, please feel free to share this video. Sharing is caring. And if you would like a more in-depth and personal reading, you can go to my website at www.conjureknits.com and click on the link at the top of the page that says, Book a Reading. Oh, and by the way, did you know that you could have gotten this TarotScope up to 2 weeks before the general public? Oh yes, check out my Patreon for details. I will drop a link in the description box below. I hope you all have a very beautiful and amazing month. Love you bunches. Shalom.